Hi, my name is Susan Dumler, and this is the tour of my ePortfolio for the MIT A85 Practicum. On the first tab under Candidate Information, you will find an introduction about me. I explain where I was, how I chose the MIT program for my master's, and where I am going. Below that, I have listed out my professional goals and my personal goals. My professional goals are to complete my MIT degree in May, and to become a leader of technology on the FHSU campus, and also to increase my participation in professional organizations. My personal goals include going on 52 dates with my husband in 2017, so being intentional about our time together, spending time unplugged with my children, to run a half marathon by the end of 2017. It's been about 4 years since my last half marathon, so I am itching to get back to run another one, and to volunteer at the local soup kitchen once a month. I believe it's important to give back to my community, and this is a way that I can do that and provide a service. Below that, I have listed my 2-year, 5-year, and 10-year goals. In 2 years, I hope to be in my current position teaching at Fort Hays State University. I believe that in my current position, one of the purposes why I'm here is to be a positive role model for college-age students. And I also hope to become more involved campus-wide using technology. In 5 years, I would like to be more accomplished in my career, taking my MIT coursework and developing that into a presentation or possibly an article publication, and then to be more involved actively in professional organizations by serving on a committee. This may be at the state level or possibly the national level. In 10 years, I would like to be working in the online environment. I consider this to be my long-term goal. I really like using technology. I like to teach online. That's really the direction I feel a pull towards, and I really enjoy it. And so I would like to do that more on a full-time basis. Right now I teach on the campus and online, so I get a little bit of that, but I would like to be more only in the online environment. After the candidate information, I have my technology philosophy. My technology philosophy begins with 3 quotes that I feel hold true to what I believe, and then is based on the constructivist mindset. I believe that it's important to have an active, hands-on, engaged learner, and that there's a new way to perform an old task. And so students today are different than they were many years ago, and students today are they have that desire to use technology in their learning. They need to be constantly engaged and actively involved. And so my technology philosophy really discusses my beliefs along those lines. One of the things I studied is students' constant connectivity to devices, and so that falls in line with the technology philosophy and ways that we can productively use technology in a planned out manner to effectively integrate technology into the lessons that we're already teaching the students. And so I have that further explained, and really to prepare students to use technology to be prepared to go out and work and get a job in the 21st century. After the technology philosophy, I have a copy of my current resume. I had a resume done before this portfolio. Towever, I changed the format for the portfolio, and I got a lot of great feedback from my peers when I posted my resume in the community. I took the great advice of my classmates, and I changed this section on strengths. I had that previously listed as skills, and one of my classmates had mentioned that she felt that those were strengths, not skills, and maybe I should change the title of that section. And so I took her advice and I did that, and I like it a lot better. Another thing that my peers and Dr. Jones had recommended was to condense my resume. I had descriptions under my work experience out in the clinical field, and that made my resume very lengthy. It was 4 pages, and so by condensing it down, it looks cleaner. It still has all the information that's necessary for my position on there, and then you can just see it has a very clean look. So that is a copy of my current resume. The next tab is activity evidence, and the first tab we can click on is my professional development plan. This was a very challenging project and took a lot of research to find out how I should gear this to fit what I do. And so I chose to introduce the G+ suite for education to the Allied Health Department faculty. And so I wrote my technology professional development plan centered around that. I gave the timeline of 1 year, and so I also incorporated our departmental vision and mission into my vision and mission for the technology professional development plan so that it aligned with departmentally what we believe. And as you scroll down all the way to the schedule, I scheduled things out from June of this year to May of next year, and I was really proud of how this turned out. There's additional links under each category, and so the Google Plus suite for education, as well as other free technology tools that we can utilize. And so just broke it out month by month of how we can use that, what I can teach them, and I'm really excited to see. I think this could become a reality, so I'm excited to see where this goes. After my professional development plan, I have my presentations. These are presentations that I've created throughout the MIT program. The first is a Google presentation of why Fort Hays State University should go Google. The second is a Prezi that I created for an observation assignment in my introduction class. I tended to shy away from Prezis in the past because I thought they were too difficult to make. I finally bit the bullet and did one, and I couldn't believe that I thought that. They're so easy and they're so fun. So I like the look, the visual. I think it's more engaging for the students, so I will definitely be using Prezis more often. The last three are Powtoons. Powtoon was a tool that I learned early on in the MIT program. It's a tool that I really enjoy. I enjoy making them. They're challenging at first, but I enjoy making them. I think the animation and the things that you can go along with it, the versatility of them, make them very appealing to the eye and engaging for the learner. And so you can also see I have done one with voiceover, so I have an example of that. And I think that my skill level using Powtoon has really increased as well. After the presentations are the videos of me providing training. My first training video was to my students in my introduction class. I showed them how to create a Google Plus profile, and then how to access the Chrome web store and add the Biodigital Human app. And then I showed them how we were going to integrate that into the curriculum. And so that is my first teaching. The second teaching is introducing Kahoot, the interactive gaming tool, to my peers. So the other faculty members in the Allied Health Department allowed me to present this to them. So I showed them how Kahoot can be used, what it is, and then let them play a little bit so they could get an idea of how it works. And then I also went in and showed them how to create a Kahoot. So I showed them some of the ones I'd created, how to add a question. And then they ask a lot of great questions. The last teaching that I chose was a peer one-on-one. So in this video, I am training another faculty member one-on-one on how to actually create her own Kahoot with the material for her class. After the videos of me providing training are the article summaries. I chose 3 article summaries that are relevant to my position. The first article is over metacognition and what it means to teach students how to be metacognitive. This metacognition is a topic that I learned in the MIT program that I found very fascinating. So I enjoy reading about this topic and learning about this topic, and I think it's important to get the perspective of the teachers' pedagogical understanding of metacognition so that they know how to teach it to the students in the best way to do that. So that's the first article. The second article discusses an upward trend of mobile learning in higher education classrooms. I like to incorporate mobile learning devices in my classroom, so I felt this article was very relevant. And the last article is a case study that discusses the TAPA process instructional model of distance education. So it is a 5-step instructional model that can be used for distance education. It's very adaptable and effective and can be used in multiple facets. And so I found that was also very applicable to my current position. The last is the extra resources tab. This is a tab that I am very proud of. I really like how this section turned out. On the first column, I have YouTube videos. I have one of a professor from Kansas State University discussing the use of different learning tools that she uses in the online environment. the video about grit and Jim Cows's talks at Google, he discusses his book, The Leadership Challenge. This was a book that we learned that we read in educational leadership, and I just really think there's a lot of great nuggets. It's a 58-minute video, so it's a bit longer, but there's just a lot of great nuggets, so I felt to include it. And then John Maxwell's The 5 Levels of Leadership. I think it's important for an instructional technologist to understand how leadership works, the best ways of leadership, their leadership style, and also below that I have the DISC personality test. I think it's also important for an instructional designer, and any teacher for that matter, to understand their personality type and the personality types of others. And so this is something that I incorporate into my classes as an optional activity for students to take the DISC personality test and research their results to see what kind of personality they have, and then also gain a deeper understanding on other people's personalities as well. So I do have my DISC results listed there that you can look through. The Center tab has online articles that I feel are relevant, that I utilize quite often, such as New Teacher Resources, Communication Technologies, 10 Great Ways to Use Social Media in the Classroom, Privacy in the Age of the Internet, and How to Write an Article Review. That is followed by infographics that I've created throughout the program. This is a great tool to demonstrate in a visual way the information that you're trying to get across to the students, and so I've included 2 infographics that I created during the MIT program. The last column includes samples of online professional development plans. I use these in the creation of my own professional development plan, followed by my program of study throughout my MIT degree. And then my go-to resources and website links include Faculty Focus, which is a higher education website blog that has different articles, and it's a very good resource that I use quite often. And then Edutopia. This is a K-12 resource. However, there's topics on every single subject, including metacognition. There are articles, blogs, videos, sometimes printables, and so it's a great resource. And then the Purdue OWL APA Formatting Style and Guide. After the activity evidence, I have my reflection. My reflection explains how I felt throughout the ePortfolio process, and explains my initial thoughts in a video, and then my peer review are also located here. I had 3 classmates peer review my portfolio, which I felt was very helpful. Each one was able to pick out different things to make suggestions and also give praises, and so I really took that feedback. I went in and made changes to my portfolio, and I liked doing this so that I made sure that what I turned in was of the best quality that I could possibly put forward. The third reviewer is an outside source. She is another faculty member in my department. She is working on her doctoral degree right now, so it's a little bit intimidating to ask her to review my master's portfolio, but she did, and she gave me a lot of great feedback. That concludes the tour of my ePortfolio. Thank you so much for watching.